Well, hello, my beautiful and amazing crafters. Welcome to another video of Crafting with Shaneda. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make these amazing name keychains right in Cricut Design Space. Now, prior to starting this project, I did a few and practiced with the sizing. So I'm very happy with the template that I made here that I'm going to use for today's project. Sometimes I don't feel like creating a template, and I feel like those projects are always the ones where I have to go back and cut and resize. So sometimes it's taking the time to create a template makes it for a more easy and seamless project. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another keychain. I'm going to go ahead and use my name, and I'm going to first bring in my font, and it's my very favorite font, Hello Valentina. And I'm going to go ahead and weld my letters to make them one complete design. I'm going to create a slight offset. And as you can see, I don't want to make the offset any bigger. So I'm going to go in to the contour and just hide any pieces I don't want to show. And this little space between the letter D and A, I'm just going to bring a shape in. Cover up that little section. Select everything and weld that. Now I could have went ahead and just made a larger offset and to avoid that spacing, but I like the sizing of this offset, so I'm just improvising so I could keep that original size. And now I have my name and the offset. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate the offset. This is going to be the actual keychain part of my design. The one to the left, I'm going to flip horizontal, select the two offsets, and align to the bottom. Now I'm going to go to shapes, and I'm going to bring in this shape here. And this will be the connecting piece that adjoins the two offsets. And this is where the hardware would go for the keychain. And now that I like the spacing, I'm going to go ahead and select the two offsets and that shape, and I'm going to weld everything so it's one unit. So now I have three elements that will go to my cutting mat. I'll have my faux leather, which would be the keychain. This would be the adhesive that I'll use to seal everything, and this will be cut out of HTV vinyl for my name. Now I'm going to go ahead and size it the way I like. About 7.5 inches was perfect sizing for me for this project. And I'm going to go ahead and send it to make it. Now what I like to do is I like to cut everything that's going to be used with heat. So my HTV vinyl and my adhesive will be also heat activated. So I'm going to go ahead and prepare those to get cut first, making sure to mirror my design, and I use everyday iron-on as my setting. That way I get to stay in the groove of just cutting everything with the same similar cut settings first, and then I'll go back and change the settings when I go to cut the faux leather. So now I'm getting ready to start. So for the vinyl, I'm going to use HTV heat transfer vinyl. This was so amazing to weed, easy to use. I'm going to place the shiny side facing down on my green standard mat and just cut enough that I need for the project. Using my brayer, I'm going to burnish it well. I also want to make a keychain out of some gold glitter HTV, so I'm going to get that ready as well. Now for today's project, to adhere my two offsets to seal the keychain, I'm going to be using heat activated adhesive. I will put the link in the description box below. It comes with a matte side and a shiny side. And the shiny side is what I'll place on my green standard grit mat because I'll be mirroring my design. I'm going to be using two types of faux leather today. This particular faux leather is really thin, and I tried a couple different settings, but the shimmer leather setting worked really well and was able to cut that faux leather without me having to increase the pressure. I'm going to place the faux leather on my mat, and I'm going to use some crafting tape just to secure it onto the mat to keep it from lifting. I'm going to be using my Cricut Easy Press so I can have a little bit more control with the temperature. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a crease where that hardware is going to go. It just makes it a lot easier for me to align everything. So I'm going to create a crease. I'm going to put a little bit of the transfer film and then a piece of Teflon just to crease that edge. And then I'm going to start with the HTV vinyl for the name. And I like using the Easy Mini Press on low setting. So I like to have control because I wanted to be careful not to burn any of the faux leather. And I'm going to save that transfer sheet for later. Add my hardware, and now I'm going to place my heat activated adhesive in between the two offsets. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you can see it did not need a lot of pressure. It was on a low setting. I like the fact that it's not as sticky once you remove that carrier sheet. So I had time to adjust the keychain before creating that permanent seal. The next leather sheet that I used was your more typical leather sheet. It's thicker, and the setting I used was genuine leather, and I kept it at the default cut, and this was the perfect setting for this particular leather sheet. Again, I will have all the items I use in the description box below. And I follow the steps as before, cut out the design out of the faux leather, added my heat transfer vinyl and my hardware and the adhesive, and it came out perfect. I'll show you one more time as I make one final keychain. These name keychains came out so amazing and they were so easy to do. I hope you give these a try, and I hope that you enjoyed today's tutorial. I hope you learned a little or a lot, and I will see you on the next video of Crafting with Shaneda.